Power is not granted, it is drawn. The world doesn't bend to those who seek approval. It yields to those who radiate force. Personal magnetism is not charm. Charm asks to be liked. Magnetism doesn't ask, it commands. It is presence made visible. The invisible gravity that bends weaker wills into your orbit, yet most waste it. They leak energy through neutrality, dilute presence with apology, and mistake hesitation for humility. They smile too much, explain too long, stand too still. They believe gentleness earns safety, but it only earns invisibility. Because magnetism, like lightning, does not exist to please, it exists to strike. It doesn't beg for attention, it disturbs the air until attention arrives. True magnetism lives in polarity, the perfect tension between attraction and repulsion. It pulls and pushes at once. It invites and intimidates. It welcomes the curious and warns the uncertain. That is its secret symmetry. Warmth on the surface, steel underneath. Attraction without authority breeds chaos. Authority without warmth breeds rebellion. The master blends both, the current that draws and the charge that defends. That's the hidden law. Your presence must never be neutral. Neutrality is death to power. You must vibrate with contrast, light and shadow, mercy and menace, stillness and storm, because only when both forces unite does your energy become inevitable. Attraction makes them come closer. Control makes them stay, and when both poles align, you stop chasing power. You become it. You don't enter the room seeking influence. You are the influence, the field, the current, the storm before the command. Law 1. The weakness of neutrality. Embrace the pole. The indifferent are the slaves of this age. They drift, uncharged, uninspired, invisible. Neutrality isn't balance. It's surrender disguised as sophistication. Every empire, every brand, every movement that shakes the world does so through polarity, through voltage, through the courage to divide the room and in doing so, command it. In the empire of influence, there are only two kinds of people, those who radiate power and those who dissolve into silence. Be magnetic or be forgotten. You've been told that being agreeable keeps you safe, that compromise wins allies, that silence keeps peace. But that peace is counterfeit, a comfort zone made of fear. You call it wisdom. You call it diplomacy. But it's paralysis with better posture. You confuse neutrality with intelligence. You think not taking sides makes you evolved, that avoiding offense makes you wise. But neutrality is cowardice wrapped in calm, and history never remembers the calm, only the charged. Machiavelli warned that neutrality is ruin. When Italy's princes hesitated between France and Spain, both powers crushed them. To stand for nothing is to invite destruction from every side. Even nature rejects neutrality. Every current has poles, every atom has charge. Life itself, positive and negative, attraction and repulsion, exists only because something dared to oppose. Remove polarity and you erase electricity, movement, creation itself. All that remains is stillness and decay. You think staying neutral shields you from judgment, but it only erases your presence. People can't trust what they can't read. They can't follow what they can't feel, and they never remember what leaves no mark. In the modern world, neutrality is magnetic death. The algorithm ignores the bland. The crowd scrolls past the polite. No one rewinds for balance. They crave conviction. They crave friction. They crave heat. It's why Apple became a faith, and Microsoft became a tool. Apple sold rebellion. Microsoft sold reliability. One built believers, the other built users. Look around you. Elon Musk splits the world in half daily and still dominates its attention. Kanye West fractures culture. Yet culture still bends around him. Polarity draws focus like gravity. Meanwhile, millions of balanced voices vanish into the gray, offending no one, inspiring no one. Polarity isn't chaos, it's control. It's the art of defining your energy so clearly that others must choose, toward or away. That choice is power. As Dumont wrote a century ago, every human radiates energy. Some attract, some repel. But the neutral, they emit nothing. They are dead currents, disconnected from the circuit of life. Look at the modern battlefield of ideas. Nike chose Colin Kaepernick. Half the world burned their shoes. The other half bought twice as many. That wasn't scandal, that was strategy. Conviction sells, polarity prints money. When Steve Jobs said, "Think different," he wasn't selling computers, he was building creed. He turned customers into disciples and design into devotion. Even in your own life, this law rules quietly but ruthlessly. The colleague who never takes a stance fades into wallpaper. The one who challenges the room, even if wrong, becomes the reference point everyone orbits. In relationships, neutrality kills desire. You can't be both the flame and the ash. Passion thrives on charge. People don't fall for moderation, they fall for intensity, for presence, for conviction. Define your polarity. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? What do I stand against? Most never ask that question. They drift in emotional debt, owing the world opinions they're too afraid to express. Speak with voltage, cut through the static. Don't fear being misunderstood, fear being unseen. Every strong magnet attracts one side and repels the other. That's not failure, that's physics. If you want to command a crowd, embrace your charge. Your presence should either draw devotion or ignite resistance. Anything less is wasted breath, because neutrality doesn't protect you. It erases you. Understand this truth. The universe itself runs on charge, and so does power. The strong declare who they are and amplify it until the world adjusts. The weak dilute themselves until they disappear. The neutral man may survive quietly, but the magnetic one, he lives loudly. He bends outcomes, reshapes rooms, and forces reactions. He isn't liked by all, but he's remembered by all. So choose your pole. Embrace your voltage. Be the spark that burns complacency, or the shadow that absorbs the light, but never, ever be neutral. Because the weak stay gray, the rulers, they burn in color, they embrace the pole.
Hey guys, we're Wisdom, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Law 2. Forge the dual pole. Mind governs body. Power is never mental alone. Thought without force is wind. The intellect commands, but the body enforces. You can study every book on power, quote Machiavelli, recite Marcus Aurelius, and still radiate no presence, because power unexpressed is power unfelt. The world doesn't respond to what you think. It reacts to what you transmit, to the voltage in your tone, to the stillness in your stance, to the quiet aggression behind your gaze. Your ideas don't move people. Your energy does. And that energy is built through union. When the mind and the body obey one will, the mind conceives, the body convinces. Unite them, or be ruled by those who already have. You spend your days learning, reading, analyzing. But when you enter a room, your presence dissolves. You speak clearly, but without charge. You explain instead of declare. You gesture like you're apologizing for taking space. You have brilliance, but no broadcast. A sharp mind trapped inside a silent instrument. You whisper ideas when thunder was required. That's the curse of the overthinker. Believing comprehension is the same as command. It's not. Knowledge that doesn't live in your posture is stillborn. Machiavelli saw this clearly. He wrote that power favors those whose thought and force move as one. He praised Cesare Borgia, the cold intellect of a scholar, the execution of a soldier. He planned with precision and struck without hesitation. His strategy was ice, his action fire. That union terrified kingdoms, because when intellect and muscle align, you no longer act, you impose inevitability. Thinkers without boldness become prisoners of theory. The bold without thought become martyrs of chaos, but the one who merges the two becomes unstoppable. This law still reigns in every field of power. In business, the founder who hides behind slides gets ignored. The one who speaks ideas with energy, voice grounded, eyes locked, gets funded. Investors don't buy logic, they buy certainty. In leadership, the strategist with weak posture breeds hesitation. But the one who walks with rhythm, commands with pauses, and moves like time itself obeys him, becomes mythic. People don't follow brilliance, they follow conviction that feels real. In relationships, words may flatter, but body language writes the truth. A shaky voice creates doubt. A grounded stillness creates desire. The confident don't chase, they pull. Your body broadcasts louder than your mouth. It tells the world what to believe about you before you ever speak. Power isn't intellectual, it's electrical. And your magnetism depends on alignment. The mind generates the signal, the body amplifies it. When they fight, your current dies. If your words say, "I'm certain," but your breathing betrays fear, people feel the static. They sense the split. You can't fake congruence. You must forge it. To master this law, train both poles. The mind. Feed it clarity, not clutter. Study patterns, not gossip. Train your focus until distraction fears you. Meditate until emotion becomes obedient. The mind must become a general, calm under siege, ruthless in precision. The body. Build it to project certainty. Train in ways that test pain, because endurance creates quiet confidence. Lift weights, walk deliberately, control breath, tone, and timing. When fear tightens your chest, slow the exhale. When your pulse spikes, steady it with stillness. The disciplined body is the leash of the mind. Speak with rhythm, not rush. Move with intent, not impulse. Hold eye contact as if you own the clock, because you do. Every gesture should whisper, "I am in command." Watch the masters. The negotiator who sits still while others fidget wins. The athlete who visualizes before the strike dominates. The CEO who pauses before replying controls the tempo. The speaker who lets silence finish the sentence owns attention. Presence isn't posture alone. It's breathing, tone, and gaze aligned to one purpose. When your mind and body merge, influence stops being performance. It becomes identity. You no longer speak power. You radiate it. Every movement becomes persuasion. Every silence becomes pressure. Every breath becomes control. Because when thought and flesh move as one, you stop convincing. You command. You stop chasing presence. You become it. And in that charged stillness between intellect and action, the world stops talking and starts listening. Cultivate the emperor's posture. Cinematic voiceover script, psychological, modern, and commanding. Expanded final edition. Your mental atmosphere is your empire. Whoever commands their inner state rules their outer world. Because the greatest empire you'll ever govern is not made of land or labor, it's made of thought. Rule your mind, or be ruled by your moods. Most people live in mental anarchy, a republic of confusion. One moment ruled by clarity, the next enslaved by impulse. They wake with purpose. Then one email, one insult, and their inner kingdom collapses. They call it stress. They call it being human. but it's simply poor governance. They react instead of reign. And in that instant, their crown falls. Because the world doesn't answer to your words, it answers to your weather, to the climate of your tone, to the temperature of your energy, to the stability in your gaze. If your mind rains chaos, your life becomes flood. If your mind radiates order, the world rearranges to match it. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He wrote, "A prince must appear composed even in storm, for fear multiplies when seen." He told the story of Cesare Borgia, betrayed, surrounded, bleeding power. Yet he smiled. Not because he felt safe, but because panic is an invitation to predators, and stillness confuses them. His composure was not kindness, it was strategy. He ruled perception, and perception ruled reality. That is the emperor's posture, not arrogance, but absolute inner discipline. And the same law rules every modern battlefield. In business, when markets crash, the CEO who panics loses investors. The one who keeps an even tone, eyes clear, shoulders still, becomes the lighthouse others cling to. Markets don't follow certainty. They follow the appearance of certainty. In politics, the leader who sweats under pressure feeds headlines of weakness, but the one who pauses, smiles, and speaks as if every disaster was foreseen turns fear into obedience. In relationships, the unstable partner turns affection into volatility. The calm one, who listens, who doesn't flinch when emotion explodes, becomes magnetic. Their serenity becomes dominance, because safety is the most seductive power of all. And in negotiation, the one who keeps still while others flinch wins without words. Tension reveals everyone, except the composed. Because stillness is not passivity, it's psychological warfare. The real battlefield isn't physical anymore, it's internal. It's the war between stimulus and response, between panic and pause. The modern leader isn't judged by chaos, but by how silently they master it. People read your energy before they ever process your argument. They feel your stability before they believe your expertise. Your calm is your empire. Your stillness is your throne. The one whose gaze doesn't waver commands the entire room. Because the calm man feels like destiny, and people follow what feels inevitable. To master this law, set your inner weather daily. Wake and decide, I will move with calm authority. Don't let emotion dictate the forecast. The world bends to those who control their tone. Eliminate internal debate mid-action. Think before you move, then execute with silent precision. A divided mind stumbles, a decisive one commands. Treat serenity as armor. Stillness is not softness, it's threat concealed as peace. It makes the frantic hesitate, it makes the impulsive expose themselves. In practical terms, when the crowd panics, pause. When the room argues, listen. When tension spikes, breathe slower. At work, others will raise voices in meetings. You stay silent for 2 beats, then speak calmly. The noise bends toward you like metal to magnet. In crisis, clients will panic. Your steady tone becomes their anchor. They'll follow your voice because it feels like solid ground. Even online, where outrage is oxygen, the one who never flinches under digital fire commands silent authority. Control your atmosphere, and you control perception. Control perception, and you control behavior. Because here's the truth. You don't need to dominate people. You only need to dominate your mood. The world bows not to volume, but to vibration. Not to emotion, but to equilibrium. When your inner empire is stable, your presence feels inevitable. When your energy is disciplined, others orbit your calm. That is the cold logic of composure. Calmness is control. Control is command. So hold your posture, not your panic. Hold your breath, not your fear. Hold your tone steady, and watch the storm exhaust itself. Rule your inner empire, and the world becomes your obedient province, because true power doesn't roar, it reigns in silence. Magnetism is not mysticism, it is architecture. You build it, brick by brick, through polarity, coordination, and posture. You sharpen your poles until neutrality disgusts you. You reject the gray, because magnets are born in contrast, not comfort. You choose sides, not for drama, but for definition. Clarity demands opposition. You fuse intellect and nerve until your words strike like tempered steel. No tremor, no hesitation, just voltage, disciplined into direction. You master your internal climate until chaos itself kneels before your calm. Your emotions obey your structure. Your composure becomes law. That is the blueprint of command. The mind directs, the body enforces, and emotion serves. This is the dual nature of magnetic power. Attraction is the surface. Control is the core. What draws them near is not your noise, but your stillness. What makes them stay is not your charm, but your control. Magnetism isn't about being liked, it's about being felt. It's the invisible field that bends the room, without a single word, no gestures, no performance, just gravity disguised as grace. The truly magnetic never chase attention. They distort it. They shift the temperature of the space by simply existing inside it. Because when your poles are aligned, when thought, body, and breath move as one, you stop seeking influence. You become influence. You are no longer a player in the field. You are the field. You are the atmosphere in which everything else unfolds, and in that still, electric center, you don't persuade. You command. You don't perform confidence. You radiate inevitability. The room moves slower when you enter. Voices drop without instruction. Every eye measures your stillness and mistakes it for certainty, because certainty feels like gravity. That is magnetism, not mystery, but mastery, not luck, but architecture. You've built it, brick by silent brick, with posture, patience, and discipline. And when it's complete, you will no longer chase influence. You will be influence. You are the magnetic monarch, calm in chaos, warm in storm, silent yet sovereign. The world doesn't watch you, it orbits you, because power doesn't shout, it radiates. And true magnetism is not what you do, it's what you are.
Thanks for spending time in this. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the resources and the original books we used today. We'll see you in the next one.